Just sort of wrapping up my day teaching, and I want to go over some chord substitutions that'll still give us a tension and a resolve in the way that a 5 dominant, 5/7 to a 1 tonic will, without giving it so triumphantly and so perfectly, like that sort of perfect 5/1 cadence. You know, it'll color that tension and resolution a little bit more. We have a couple different options to use there. It'll open up a little bit of the fretboard, some of these options. It will be practical because if you're writing and you want a little bit of a different color while you're trying to create that tension and resolution, it's really great too. And we'll go over some of the theory behind it. If I play here in A, my 5/7 chord, my E7, right, I'm creating a lot of tension, and that tension is because of the tritone, right? Now, in the E7 chord, it is the major third and the flat 7 of the chord, right, which is actually going to be the natural 7, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 in A, right? And then my 1, 2, 3, 4 in A, all right? So it's really just this 7 and this 4 in the key of A that then resolves. That 7 wants to go up to 1, that 4 goes down to 3. So if we can find those notes, right, a 4 and a 7, right, we can create that tritone, create that tension, and then resolve it without having to always do this, you know, and sort of having this, I always call it triumphant. That's really what it sounds like to me. You know what I mean? And if you're writing lyrically, you know, something with that, you know, you would want it to sort of match up, and it's like, oh, there's a little bit of tension, there's a little bit of tension, all right, and now absolutely everything is perfectly fine, right? If you do what's called a deceptive cadence, and you do that 5/7, right, and now you bring it up to a 6 minor, it's got a little bit of that resolve, right, because it still has the A in the chord, right? It's and it still has the C sharp in the chord, right? The 3, so that 4 is still going down to the 3, and that 7 is going to the 1, just an octave higher in the voicing that I played, you know. So you can still get a resolve if you do a 1, you know, 3, whatever, 4, 5, 7 to a 6 minor 7. Right now it's like, all right, things have settled, things are resolved, but ooh, something is not quite right. You know, it's a little bit different. So in your instrument, try that out. You know, going from, if you are going to do a 5/7, boom, everything's good. It's the end of what it was that you were trying to say in that song, and you're moving on to a new part, moving on to sort of like a new verse, whatever it is. And then in this case, right, it can sort of be a continuation. You know, that mood sort of dips down a little bit while still delivering the end of the emotion you were just conveying into perhaps something a little bit new that draws on that emotion in sort of a songwriting sense. Not everything is completely tied up there at the end. So now if we're going to mimic that in some other progressions, let's try it. If I take this, I love this because this is a little bit visual here. Instead of this 5/7 or this E7, I'm going to use this one. Right, that's sort of like 7/9, 7/9. You know, and I can even get that 7 on the bottom E string there. Right, I create that that tension. There's my 7 in A, and there's my 4. Right, there it is, right there. Right, 4 goes down to 3, 7 goes up to 1. Boom, I've got my resolve. Now, if I try to say, all right, let's look at this. Let's look at this. How can I creatively do this? Well, I'm going to take a B minor chord, make it a B minor 7. I'm not even going to worry about that note. So now I have a B minor 7, 7, nothing on the A string. I'm muted. 7, nothing, 7, 7, 7. I'm not quite worried about the B on the bottom, right? That 7 note, that 7th fret on the E string. I'm going to blank that out a little bit. So now I have a B minor 7. I'm going to make it a B minor 13. All right, B minor 7, 13. I know it's technically B minor 13. Sometimes I do like to say minor 7 13 in this instance, but I just have a regular old B minor 7, and I just add that 13 on there. The ninth fret, right, of that B string, that gives me the 13. Right, if I go through this chord, root note, right, flat 7, minor 3rd 5. Now it's root note, flat 7, minor 3rd 13 or 6, right? If I'm stacking it on top of a minor 7 chord, it becomes a 13. B minor 13. Right? A little bit different now. It's got a different feel to it. Right? I can sort of... All right. Or we could even do the B minor 7, right, B minor 13 into that F sharp or the 6 minor 7 chord, right? And now we're really messing with that tension resolution in a few different ways. And I really like that because we can visually see it. Now you can do any sort of minor 7 or minor 7 13 or a minor 13 chord. You could do that anywhere in any voicing. I just particularly like that one. You know, we're building it off of the 2 chord, right? B minor. And if anybody knows, if you're modal, you know, if you're sort of like learning your theory and your modes, that if I'm playing the 2 chord, that 2 is Dorian, which has the natural 6. Which is the 13, and that's why it works, right? That's why it all sort of fits together. So I really like that. We're gonna build. So that was something off of the 2, right? The 2 chord, the B minor. Now, if I move this, we're gonna go to the 3 chord. I really like this one. What I really like about it is if I take my A, right, maybe I'm playing up here now. 3 chord. 4 chord, 5. I could do my 5 here. Right, my E7, E, regular old E major bar chord. Right, but I'm gonna put that flat 7 here, the 10th fret in the bottom string there on the E. And there we go. Do that nice resolve. Now, if I take that, and I'm just going to change the bass note now to a C sharp. So now that's a C sharp minor 7, 9th fret, nothing, 9th fret, 9th fret, 9th fret, right? And then in my C sharp, I've got my root note, and then I've got my flat 7, minor 3rd, 5, and then I'm going to add my flat 9. So this is a C sharp minor 7, flat 9, okay? There's my tritone in the key of A. There's my 7 that goes up to my root note, up to my A. My 4 goes down to my 3. So I'm getting that same resolve now, right? This guitar's got super high action. It's not the easiest one to play. So now if I do... Now I'm going to do the first one we did. Okay. It's got some coolness to it. This one, you know, I sort of take up to... Right now I'm building it off of that C sharp. Again, if you know your modes, the C sharp is the 3rd, right? So sort of built off of my 3 chord, and that's Phrygian. Phrygian is your minor with your flat 2 or your flat 9. So you got a minor 7 flat 9 that you can bring right into your A. All right, so try them. Right, you could do a 2 minor, minor 7 13 or minor 13, right, into your 1 chord, or into your, you know, 2 minor 13 2 minor 13 or 2 minor 7 13 into your 6 minor chord, your F sharp minor. All right, or you can do your 3 minor 7 flat 9 into your 6 chord, or into your root, your tonic, your 1. All right, so mess around with those. I really like those. I have a file down in the description that'll just show you the chord voicings for everything that I was doing there for you to try to follow along. I know that it can be a lot, but kind of a fun lesson, you know, or I thought so.